everybody, what's going on? AMF1534 here. Welcome to the second half of Let's Play Gradius 3. We knocked out levels 1 through 4 in the first installment, but now we are taking on the much more difficult second half of this game with levels 5 through 10. And believe me, the difficulty is going to exponentially increase from this point on. We are still attempting the no-death run, but if I'm going to be dying anywhere, it's going to definitely be within the next couple of levels here. Maybe not here in level 5, but usually when I die the first time, it's probably going to be in level 7. So we'll see what happens. But welcome everybody, this is also one of my next favorite stages. This is level 5, the Firestorm. It's actually a very interesting concept. It's a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. It's a very short level, but we're not going to be seeing a lot of enemy ships in here. There will be a few, but the main antagonists of this level are these fiery meteors that are kind of just flying out from every conceivable possible area here. And just like I said in level 2, this is actually the guy that's going to try to steal our option here. You just have to kind of dodge him, and no harm will come to you in that section. You would think that if he really wanted your option that bad, he would actually like change direction in midair and actually come after you for it. But that would probably add an extra dimension to this game I don't think other people really would have wanted. It's already, you know, difficult enough with all these other things flying at you from every direction, let alone having something chasing you down for your weaponry. But like I said, this is an incredibly short level. The boss fight will actually be right through this little pass here, so it's more or less like a literal 1-minute level. But it definitely has one of the better songs in the game, I must say. I think actually the next best one besides the weapon select screen and level 3 would probably be the last level of the game. But do you guys remember this guy? Here is the boss for this level. It's if you guys remember level 1, you'll remember this guy very well. He's the fiery dragon of unrelenting doom and hell and stress. That is not his actual official name, but that's the one that I'm coining for him. The first part of it's not very difficult, but the second half of it can be very menacing. So once you kill him, he's going to switch directions here, but the thing about this is where it gets a little more difficult. He has quite the habit of trying to lock you up in a circle. He'll just do like one of those little revolving door things of his where he'll try to suck you in, he'll try to come around behind you here. But the problem is you really do not want to get yourself locked up in one of these little circular battles with him, because when he dies, all of the pieces of him kind of like spray around in some like random fashion here that when it happens can actually get you killed. So look out. Oh man. I've got myself killed a number of times that way. Especially when he's in a circle, it becomes almost impending doom that way. But hey, he's dead, and now we're heading off to level 6. Also one of the more interesting levels. Another interesting concept will be revealed there. So we'll take care of that when it happens. Ah, yes. What a game. Like when playing it, I never realized how long I'm actually playing it until after I'm done playing it. It seems like it's a game that you're done with in like 10 minutes, but then it's like an hour. Welcome, my friends, to level 6. This is the Plant Zone. Also, another great song. They're gonna start kind of changing they changed the enemy models in this level a little bit. So a few things in here that we're not used to seeing. Like one of my favorite enemies in the entire game are these weird like tumor, like egg sac looking things. It's a very interesting idea. They make like a really cool noise when you shoot them. Another outstanding song, might I add. It's this really adds to that prototypical 90s game soundtrack. Now here's that innovative thing that I was telling you about. This is one of the stranger enemies in this game. You can't attack them whatsoever. They're just like these weird like tentacle type things that the only way that they will die, so to speak, is when you reach the end of the screen, they will actually die that way. It's like it like attacks their base, and all of a sudden they just instantly die. There will be another quote-unquote option stealer coming up here in just a minute. In this particular area, you just want to kind of hover around the edge of the screen here. Because if you get touched by these things, you will automatically die, more or less, so just don't let it happen. And then just give this guy the slip here. That is actually the last one of those I think that we see in the entire game. When you play it in hard mode, they come out, they are all over the place. Once again, we have another very short level, because the boss is coming up right here. This is another very interesting one. This guy is enormous. It's just a giant plant. like a Venus flytrap type of guy here. Not really. It's just well, maybe it is. With like these really weird like arm penis laser shooting things. The only way that you can attack him is when he opens up his face like that. You just want to shoot that weird like bulbous looking thing while his little penis arms are shooting at you. When he starts going down like this, you want to kind of hover around towards the top of the screen, and then he'll do his little, you know, open wide thing again, and then you can just pretty much wail on him from there. You only really have to do this like 3 times. Once you do it the second time here, he's gonna kind of go towards the bottom of the screen again. So just, you know, hang out up here for a second, and he'll go on his way back up towards the top. But then he'll do something different. He's gonna come actually really, really close to you, like this. And then he'll open up again. This is actually where he's on the verge of dying. You just shoot him a couple more times and he will be done for, just like the rest of them. This next level, this is where, if I'm going to be dying anywhere in this game for the first time, this is where it would be. This level is strangely very, very difficult, mainly because of the concept behind it, and you'll see when we get there. But I very rarely have ever escaped this level without dying at least once. And it's not from the boss, it's just from the level itself, which is really weird because there's no real enemies in it. This is also a very, very good way to get yourself killed if you're not careful. Having the Mega Crush on you at this time would be a very, very wise choice, because there's just all sorts of fire coming from every conceivable direction. But everybody, welcome to level 7. This is the Highspeed Zone. And that is exactly why this level is as hard as it is, because of the theme that we're running with here in the high speeds. The only enemies that are really here, I wouldn't really call them enemies, but they're just the orange guys that give you your power-ups. You kind of just have to like pick a path and run with it. Oh, that's where I would have gotten killed if I would have gotten killed at all in this level. It's one of those timing issues, and with the higher speeds that we're going in this level, it's quite the hassle to deal with. It's, by some, it's considered kind of like a bonus stage just because of how many of these things are just, you know, right there for you to deal with. Oh, damn it. Well, here comes the boss. This, also a very similar boss fight to what we've dealt with many times before, and I feel like a lot of these bosses look pretty much the same. It's gonna be another one of those dodge the laser things here, but he shoots them a lot quicker than what other bosses have been doing so far in this game, but it's a very, very, very quick fight. You just dodge the balls he's tossing out there at you, and just like that, he's dead. And then here's a little bit of a, I don't know, it could be like called a bonus stage, sort of, just because you're getting a whole bunch of these. It can be a little bit of a pain, though, just because of the idea that there's so many of these things coming out of everywhere. But it's a good way to get yourself some power-ups getting ready for level 8. It's going to be a real interesting one. Welcome, my friends, to level 8. This is the boss rush, and they're not pre-existing bosses that we've dealt with already. They're all unique bosses, and they all have their own song to accompany them. And they all have a different perk to them. This one, pretty much, you can only attack him when he shoots those rockets and he opens up the chamber there. But the boss rush songs are so awesome. Some of the best songs in the entire game lie right here. When you get to the second stage of this guy, he's going to start shooting a large laser at you, but it's a very, very easy thing to dodge. And at this point, you can also just, you know, shoot at him at will here. I almost got myself killed. Jeez. There we go. This one right here is actually my favorite boss fight song in the entire game. It's also one of the harder bosses in this boss rush area. Just because of these tentacle things that, you know, they constantly spew out those little blue teardrop laser things of doom. This is a fight where having the twin laser would have been definitely the better option to have. Just because having the ripple here, you really have to pinpoint your shots, and it's very, very difficult with such a large weapon. This is also one of those other boss fights that if I'm going to die anywhere, this would definitely be the place that it would happen. Luckily, he cannot go all the way to the bottom of the screen, so it is a safe place for you to hide. Looks like we've almost got him. Oh man, I almost got myself killed there. This is another one of those fights that if I'm going to die anywhere in this game, this is usually where it happens. But during this little barrage, he kind of protects himself, and he is immune to all fire. Oh, boy. So that one's down. That was definitely the harder one out of all of these, I think. With the exception of one other one. This one is this one can be difficult, just because of how much he's shooting at you. But just like any of the other large, you know, laser waves, if you just go up and down here, you're really not going to have much of an issue. He'll open himself up, being vulnerable to all your shots, and they're very, very easy to take out. This is one reason why having the ripple is a cool idea, because they do take these things out very quickly. Very, very quick fight. This one's kind of like taking a literal break from difficult boss fights. This one's not even really so much about where you have to shoot, it's really about timing. Because you're going to be getting these giant waves of rockets coming from both directions. And if you're not careful, it's something that you really need to pay attention more here than anything else, but try to stay around the middle of the screen here, because that's where you're going to be doing the bulk of your shooting. Just make sure that you know, keep your eyes peeled here. I know that's another usage of the phrase that I hate so much, but it definitely, it does make perfect sense here. It's something that I've never actually died during this stage before. Of course, now that I say that, I'll probably end up dying here, but you just have to wait for that area to open up and expose the red / blue dot. And this is actually the final boss of the boss rush. This one is very, very interesting. And it's another one of these where you have to kind of dodge this thing. It is one that I have gotten myself killed numerous times here. It's very similar to the third boss fight. When he closes up like that, you need to move to either the top or the bottom of the screen and just kind of sit there. Sit tight. Because he will try to, you know, butt ram you there, and we don't enjoy any of that. Now that he's going to go on this diagonal set here, it actually makes it a much, much easier fight, because the way that you have to dodge it is just way easier. But that is the end of the boss rush stage. There actually are only 2 levels left in the entire game, everybody. These levels actually seem a lot shorter than the levels in the opening part of this game. Well, that's probably because they are more difficult, and that is one reason why I think they probably felt that was suitable. We need to get a shield, and we need to get it quickly, because this next zone is quite the piece of work. Also, another place that if I am going to die, it's going to be in here. There are a couple of spots that always seem to catch me off guard. All the time. And the boss fight for this is also quite the hassle. Welcome to level 9, my friends. This is the mechanical bass. Actually has one of the more like upbeat and like happy sounding songs in the entire game. I do like it a lot, though. It's one of the cooler levels in this game. They have a very interesting tactic that you're going to have to find a way to master during this during the course of this level here. And I'll explain it to you once we get there. I won't even really have to explain it much. You'll pretty much get the point when it happens. Watch out in this particular area here. There's going to be some of those ball things from level 3. They're going to be shooting very large amounts of weaponry here, so we'll just deal with them accordingly. Try to like just very slowly eke your way up towards that guy so you can take him out there. Yeah, the floors, or like the ceiling / floor is actually going to start moving here. And it's very interesting, even though it actually sacrifices its own ships to do it. Be very, very careful, especially in this section right here. Do not hang around anywhere towards that top part of the screen, because it will kill you. And then right here is the much harder part. You need to stay as close to the top of that as you can, because it will kill you. And here's the boss fight at this part. It's something. This one's not very hard. The boss, once we get through this guy, is actually going to be much more difficult. This is actually probably the easiest boss in this entire game. Oh, well, almost. I'll explain that one later. But once you kill those, the gate is open for the slaughter. You pretty much just sit right here and just let them have it, you know? Yep, that was that entire thing. It's really nothing. This part's actually also very difficult, and I may die here. This may be where the perfect game is tainted forever. This part is very, very difficult, and you'll notice. There's pieces of the floor and ceiling that start coming out after you, and it's very difficult to survive. No! Damn it! There it goes. There it goes. It's such a difficult spot. I've never been able to master it. Like, it's very, very hard to really escape that one alive. It's one that you really, really want to have a Mega Crush with you, but since I don't have the availability for it... Oh, no! I might be able to get away with it this time. I might... Oh! God. This is really the only part of this game that I have a very big struggle with. It's such a hard part to deal with. There we go. Now we got it. Now we're cooking with gas. I feel bad. I mean, had I made it through that the first time, we literally would probably have a clean sweep of this game. So I'm a little bit perturbed right now, but you know what? We're still actually doing a lot better than I thought I would. There are multiple times during this game that I should have died already. And there is a possibility that I may die during this boss fight as well. Especially because there are not one, but there are two bosses in this particular level. And especially because I have no shield, this may get very chippy. This thing actually kind of reminds me of like War of the Worlds for some reason. But just kind of sit right here. You can only hit him, you know, every time his eye is open. And try to get under him there. And on his way back, you'll actually probably kill him before he gets to you. But there is a second one here. This one's a little bit harder than the first one. You're gonna have to kind of hang up towards the top here. And when you get the opportunity, go in right here. Just slowly move with him. Very slowly move with him, and you should have him dead right there. That was also a very, very hard fight for me to master, but once you kind of get down the idea of how his legs are moving, you should be able to take care of it no problem. Alright guys, we're gearing up for the final level in the game, and definitely, it's one of the best songs. I think that this one actually is probably going to be my number 3, with the song from level 3 being number 1, the weapon select screen being number 2, and this definitely being a very close number 2/number 3. It is so good. It's like the perfect theme song that you could have for a final level. Alright everybody, welcome to the final level of Gradius 3. This is the cell. There's some things you're gonna see here that you're gonna be like, what the hell is that? I mean, this song just completely emanates the idea of, you're here, man. You're at the final level. The shit's really about to go down. Just you wait. This one's a little bit of a longer level than what we've been seeing with some of the other ones lately. But still not a terribly long level. I think the longest level in this game was actually level 3, just because of the idea they had you going through 2 separate stages at once. These weird claw things, the first time I saw them, I was like, what the hell is that? This is also a very tricky area. Like, this particular part of it isn't so bad because they're giving you an area to go through, but there is one slot right before the end of the game that it's a very interesting. I'll have to explain it on how it works, but it's another very good way to get yourself killed if you don't know if you don't know how to attack it. These little cell things are real annoying little bastards. Right here is one of them. You just have to kind of move through it quickly because the stuff does regenerate. I would guess it's probably like, you know, cellular tissue that can obviously regenerate upon taking damage. Now right here, this is the... Oh no! Wow! I did not see that coming. I was not ready for that. I was just getting ready to go through that thing. That sucks. That was definitely one death that was really unnecessary. Shitty. So right here, let the thing regenerate and then go. You just need to move all the way to the end, because it will regenerate quicker than, you know, it would definitely kill you if you stayed anywhere near the middle. So just don't do it. But here we go, everybody. This is the final boss of this game, And also probably the weirdest one, for sure. He has quite the brain on him. Now, I never know what he says there, but this is probably one of the most anticlimactic bosses of all time. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, that was it. I kid you not. That was the final boss of this game. It's just... like, you would think with a level that's supposed to be really difficult being the last one, that they would give you a boss that was harder than that. That the only weapon he has is shooting some purple balls at you. I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding. But anyways, everybody, that was my Let's Play of Gradius 3. It is just a wonderful, wonderful game. If you guys have never played it before, you've been missing out after all these years. So definitely play it. And it's really a fun one to try to master, especially when you play it on hard. That's where you really get the whole genuine experience. I played this time on just normal. I didn't want to, you know, get myself all stressed out because it is exponentially more difficult. But yeah, I thought that it would be a fun one to try this one out. Actually, I'm surprised it took me 3 years to do this as a Let's Play series. But anyways, this is your host, AMF1534, saying thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next Let's Play. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I will think of something. I've always got a list of things ready to go. So thanks for sticking around, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to, this game will actually allow you to, once the credits are over, it will actually start the game all over again. So if you really want to, you can definitely continue playing from here. I don't know if it changes difficulty or not, or what it does, but hey,